alphabet. And it's rather nice because it folds, at least in the book version. So what you can do is you can be reading along and then you forget a letter and then or a vowel and you just look at the back. And it gives you the answer. The only thing is that I've scribbled in the books in the chapter, but not at the back, where I think that they've got the pronunciation wrong, especially on some of the vowels. So I hope that doesn't lead to confusion. But anyway, I think we are all internalizing sounds, so we shall get there as we go. So here we are, beginning of lesson 6. I would tell you the page number. 39. Page 39, thank you, Casey. Okay, so page 39, lesson 6. We started last week. And first of all, let's just see what we have learned in the past. And these, I hope, are now all familiar to you. If not familiar, we need to go back and do revision, or you need to do that in your own time as well. So the ones we've learned: Aleph, silent letter; Bet, Vet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet, Yud, Kaf, Chaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samech, Ayin, Shin, and Taf. So you've learned a lot of the alphabet already. Letters that have the same sound that you've already learned are Vet, Vet, the third one, and Vav. They both say V, Vet and Vav. And then Chet, this one with a closed throat here, Chet, and Chaf, Chet and Chaf, and that's all for now. We'll soon learn the second of the Ts. So those are the letters that we have learnt, and here are the vowels that we have learnt. A, as in Shabbat. If it tries to tell you that A is the sound of yacht, which it tries to tell you in the book.
That's because that's American.
Oh, yacht.
Yeah.
Yacht.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's American.
Okay. Thank you for that insight. So it's not it's not anything else. It's A as in Shabbat. A and A. E and E. A and A. E. E is the latest one that we learned. E, 3 little dots. At the bottom says E as in egg. Any questions about the letters we've learned or about the vowels that we've learned?
The E, the B story, you said E and then E. When do you differentiate?
So when it's got the Yud after the E,
then it's
when that Yud appears in the immediately after the E sound, it elongates. So it's E, E.
Oh, I see you're looking in the book. Sorry, I'm looking in the back thing. Okay, so
Sorry.
No, it's E
Yes.
when it's on its own, and E
That's
when
right.
it's
It's got it. That's right. And in theory, the same with A. A and A.
A.
So
Okay.
now again, looking on chapter 6, page 39. So the 2 dots next to each other are A, as in the word hey or bay, and then the A with the Yud. But you know that in truth, when you say it as the A, like to the ear, there's no difference. So it's E, E, A, and E. Those are the vowels. And now we launch into 4 new letters, unless there are any questions about the letters we've learned.
Now I just want to ask something. Which is the other ch? I can see the second one on the second line is the ch. Which is the other one?
This last one.
Right.
K
And that's the k. K and ch. Thanks.
and V, K and Ch. Great. So now we are learning the last of the letters that has a dot in the middle or not, and where it makes a difference. We did learn this briefly last week, but let's go through it properly. So this one here, which looks like a little piggy's tail, some people say, a little piggy's tail. When it's got a dot in it, it's the hard sound, just like the p and the k, the harder sound, p, 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 as in pay, as in people, as in piggy. P, the one with the dot inside. And then when you get the same little piggy tail without the dot inside, you soften the sound. So it says f, f, as in an F, as in food, or for, or from. So now in English, we don't really consider the P and the F to be sort of variations of one another. You know, if you're teaching someone to read English, you would never put the P and the F next to each other, just like not, they're not related. Except in phone, good point. So when it has the H after it, it actually becomes an F. That's a good point. That's right. So maybe that tells us something about the origin of all of these things. That's right. Thanks, Casey. But nonetheless, in Hebrew, they are considered a variation. So P with the dot and F without. P and F. And then this next one is the rather unique and beautiful, I think one of the most beautiful letters of the Hebrew language. This second one here, ts. So in English, we need two letters to say that sound. Ts, nuts, or to put it differently, let's use a Hebrew word, tzaddik, tzedakah, ts. That is the tzadi, ts. It is a little similar to the ayin. Sorry, I should have said earlier when I was talking about things that sound the same, that the aleph and the ayin sound the same, they're both silent. So sorry I missed that out, but you all remember the ayin is a silent letter. The tzadi is a little bit like the ayin, except that it's more kind of upstanding. Like a tzaddik, a just person, a righteous person is upstanding. So tzadi, it's upstanding. I'll show you the two together in a minute, or the book will show you. So that is a beautiful, beautiful letter, ts, as in tzadi. And then we have a ka. Now remember, we've already had a ka. We've already had the kaf. And now we get another ka, the kuf. The kuf says ka, exactly the same sound as the kaf and the kuf, same sound. Ka and ka. Ka and ka. So those are the 3 or 4 letters that we are learning today. So let's go on and learn them. So I'm on the left-hand side of the page. It's reminding us what we've just said, which is that for these 3 letters, having the dot in the middle matters. B and V, K and Ch, P and F. And then if you look on the right-hand side of the page, they're showing us these 2 letters that look quite alike. The aleph and the tzadi. I don't myself really feel that the aleph and the tzadi look alike, but okay.
They're wiggly.
They're wiggly. They've got the kind of diagonal line in the middle. Anyway, then they've got the ayin and the tzadi, which I think do look a bit more similar. The ayin is, of course, a silent letter, just like the aleph is a silent letter. It is there in order to facilitate the vowel sound, so that you can say a, e, or u without having to, because the vowel kind of disappears in writing. And the tzadi, which is quite different, it says ts. And then, as we've said, the k, the kuf, and the kaf say exactly the same. K, 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 k. Exactly the same sound. They look completely different. Why are they there? Anybody's guess. They just are there. So what they then do on the left-hand side of the page is they say, okay, let's practice these new letters, but we're going to practice them along with the with the latest vowel that we learned, which is the E. So they're going to invite us to practice these sounds on page 40. I think this is part of what I sent around, but I think we should just go through them because we just need to consolidate that we know these before we go on to our new vowel, which is quite a difficult vowel. We started a little bit last week, but we've got a long way to go with that one. That is the O sound, and quite a challenging vowel that is. So line 1, let me do for you, and then I'm going to see who will volunteer for line 2. So line 1 on the left-hand side of the page. Ke, be, pe, chi, vi, fi, pa, cha, fa, pe, and pi. Okay, that's quite a lot. So let me do it again, because you've now got to absorb all these new letters. That one's an old one, the first one. Ke, be, pe, chi, vi, fi, pa, cha, fa, pe, and pi. Any question about line 1? Okay, fantastic. Let's have a volunteer for line 2. So this is the vowel that says Shabbat, and you are now applying that vowel to some of the new letters you've learned. Any volunteer for line 2? Birthday girl.
Okay.
All right. Well, Casey volunteered, so thank you, Reva.
Oh, great.
I'll take
Better.
you. You're not off the hook by any chance, by any means.
Ka.
Aha.
Aha.
Let me just look in the book because I'm yeah, that's right.
Aha.
That's right. So that's the one without the dot.
Mhm.
Aha.
That's right, because you didn't kick it.
That's right.
Then ka.
Good.
Fa.
Good.
Pa.
Excellent. Excellent. So that's your new sounds. The f and the p, along with the f and the k. Some interference somewhere. Okay. All right. Let's go to line 3. Line 3 is again testing some of your new sounds, especially the p sound, and seeing if you can distinguish it from the k sound. And it is using the vowel that we learned quite long ago, but it's a difficult one sometimes to remember. The 2 dots next to each other, which is A. A as in bay, pay, day. Who will, Ariva, can we ask you to do line 3?
Okay, I'll give it a go. Bay,
Good.
K,
Good.
pay.
Good.
Now, hang on. Lava.
Leva.
Leva, sorry, leva.
As in what?
Leva. Lecha
Good.
and lefa.
Excellent. Well done, Reva. You managed to outwit them there because they tried to fox you, but you didn't fall for it. The 4th line is practicing the tsadi sound. There's one familiar word in that line, but a lot of it is tsa, and it's giving us both the e, the I, the a, and the a, so it's mixing up the vowels quite a lot. Line 4, any volunteer?
I'll try.
Thank you, Robin. Line 4.
Tse,
Good.
tsel,
Good.
tsash,
Good.
sit,
Good.
Sate,
Good.
Mata,
Ma.
Matza.
Good. Matzah. Matzah.
We eat
Matzah.
Matza.
Good.
And
And
beta. Betza.
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 Excellent. Excellent. So the word, so matzah means matzah, and betza is an egg. That's an egg. To be a little bit rude, betza is also
The beitzim.
beitzim are also balls, as in testicles.
Yeah.
Little eggs.
Little eggs. Betza.
Same thing.
That's right. Yes, I guess. Betza. So betza are
Kaba.
first and foremost, betza are eggs. Okay, well done, Robin. Let me do line 5, and then line 6 and 7 are a bit harder as well, because these are now all words with 3 letters. So I'll still be looking for volunteers there, but let me start, let me do line 5 for us. Ka, fa, ka, va, ka, cha, pick, pick, and kick. I'll do them again.
You're doing them as in I, rather than E.
Peek, pick. That's right, because there's no yud.
Definitely.
I, I,
Okay.
I,
Okay.
I as in.
Kata.
Got it.
So let's do it again. Page 5. Kafa, kava, kacha, pick, pick, and kick.
If.
Okay.
Native.
So now let's get a volunteer, if possible, for line 6. Line 6 is quite difficult because it's 3
Charlie.
letters. Thanks, Mom. That's great. So it's testing us on quite a few of our new letters, as well as a number of our vowels. Mom, you do line 6.
Ketsa.
Good.
Seva.
Try again that one.
Seka.
But not good. But now give me the first vowel again.
Tsaka.
Sacha. Sacha.
Saka.
Good.
Sava.
Good. And the word Sava means army. Tzva Haganah Israel, the army of Israel. Sava is army. Good, Ma.
Pizza.
Pizza. There you go. There's a pizza.
Tapit.
But there's no dot in it. So it's
Some kid.
Safid. Safid, because the
Safid and Eitsav.
eight save.
Save.
Well done, Ma. So the vowels, you know, it's amazing how you can know the vowel, but now throw it in with a bit of complexity, and the vowel suddenly starts giving a bit of trouble. So let's just go through line 6 again. Ketsa, sacha, sava, pizza, safid, and 8 save. Well done.
Lel,
Ma.
I think that's the first 4-letter word we've had.
Is it really?
I haven't, I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, this feels different. And I think because it's more letters than we usually have.
That's right. And okay, that's a good point. And that yud, Mom, you did that right. You did it well. It's just elongating the I. It's not saying anything by itself. Safid. Safid.
It's going to improve our Scrabble game.
Yeah. Good. So then on to line 7. So line 7 has a number of our new letters, and it has a number of 3-letter words. So, you know, all getting more difficult. Any volunteer for line 7?
I'll try some of it.
Thank you.
Card.
Good.
So that's a D. D.
That's right.
Dick.
Good. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry?
Any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Ka. Ka. Katsa.
Good, but now look at the first vowel.
It's the ka with a 2, so it's A. K.
That's right.
K. Sa.
Well done, Harriet. Ketsa.
Ka. Cha.
Kacha. Kacha, kacha. How are you feeling? Kacha, kacha.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
So, so.
Ba. 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 Ba.
Well done.
That's a P. Huh? The dot in there is a P. Pa. Pa. Fa.
Well done, Harriet. You refused to be outfoxed there. Pafa. And
Just like. And that's the T. Huh? So it's C.
sick.
Sick.
Well done. Sick. You did very well there, Harriet. Fantastic. So we all actually, everybody is reading very well. So I'm going to quickly run through lines 1 and 2 because they are quite easy and I'm sure you'll all be able to do this yourself. A, sa, I, si, el, sel, baal, batsal, say. And then line 2, that is an ayin, it's a silent letter. I, a, si, say, al, sal, ka, kish, and kish. All right, so you are all reading. And you know,
Would it be
again,
quiche if you had a
yud.
A yud.
yeah, quiche, that's right. That's right. We could have a pizza and a quiche. So going very nicely, I would say. Now we are coming, and you know, really, you've got very few letters left after this. Very, very few. You're going to see you at the end of the alphabet. Let's revise the vowels we have already learned. Top of the page. Oh, did Peter go out? Hello, Peter. Welcome back. Sorry if you lost your connection. Okay, so vowels at the top of the page. So, a, I, a, and e. Those are the vowels that we have learned so far. Now, today, last week we just touched on it. Today we are learning a new vowel. And that new vowel is a little weird. It has 2 forms. It is a dot. And the dot can either be on top of what is effectively a vav. So you remember the vav, which is just a single stick, like a little finger with a sort of bend at the top. That's the vav. If it gets if it gets a dot on top, then the whole thing becomes a vowel, which is weird because, you know, here's our first vowel that is not underneath. Firstly, it's on top. And secondly, it actually forms part of what looks like a letter. So this thing here, the vav with the dot on top of it says O. Now the question is, what is the O? And the book wants to tell you that it's O as in show, or boat as in O as in boat, or all this other nonsense. All of it is rubbish. What it is O as in O. That is the sound. O. Adon olam. Okay. Adon olam. O. Now, how do you remember it? Well, if somebody hits you on the top of the head, yeah. There's no equivalent sound in English, I don't think, except for or. No, I don't think there's another sound in English like that. So it's O. It's not O or anything else. It's O.
It's going to be so.
It is going to be confusing, unfortunately, but that is what it is. It is O. Now, to make it just a little more challenging, yeah, and it's not low either. It's O. So now the problem is this. This vowel can take two forms. Either it does this, which is the dot on top of the vowel, or, and I guess this is an evolution over time, sometimes it's just the dot. And the dot appears on top of and to the left of the letter. So kind of on top of the letter, but not on its head, but like in between that letter and the next letter.
Any letter?
Any letter. So if I take you to line 1 and 2, it can either be or in line 2, do, ho. Right? So it's in line 2, it's just a dot that just now sits there in the middle.
So the dot on the right is a sh, and the dot on the left is an o.
That's right. So now to make things particularly complicated, if you have a sh and then an o, like this word here, the dot on the right is telling you that it's a sh sound.
Yeah.
It's not a vowel. And the dot on the left is a vowel, and it's o. So that is sho. It's not show, it's sho. But that's what it is. So this little dot can sometimes appear on top of the verb as a whole letter, or sometimes it just sits in the middle between that letter and the next letter. So let me read for you lines 1 to 3. O, sho, mo, ko, bo, do, lo, and got. Man got. Or on line 2, do, ho, zo, ho, shov, nok, sod, tsog, po. Line 3, pok, pok, sok, sok, Coca-Cola. Pok, pok, sok, sok, Coca-Cola. Yes,
The first two words on line 3 that you just read.
right.
Which one would be correct? How do you know when each applies? Is it just the way you spell that particular word when you get to it?
That's right.
Sometimes it's got an extra stick and sometimes it doesn't.
That's exactly right. So you just read what you see. Both can be right. It just depends on the word itself.
But if you give me a word to write, if like in the spelling bee and I write it out, can I make a mistake?
You can in a spelling bee make a mistake.
But
But thank goodness we aren't having any,
spelling bee.
because I must say Hebrew spelling is just difficult because of all of these issues. And not that English spelling is like particularly easy, but yes.
Okay.
So it's just random what it looks like. So let's go again, lines 1 to 3. So I want you to read yourselves while I'm reading aloud. O, sho, mo, ko, bo, do, lo, and got. Oh, that sounds like a German word, hey? Got. Line 2. Do, ho, zo, ho, shov, nok, sod, tsog, po. And line 3, pok, pok, sok, sok, Coca-Cola. How are you all doing?
Sure.
Okay. So let's go on to lines 1 to 3 on the following on page 43. Now, I think, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read them and then I'm going to ask for volunteers after I've read them. And what we're doing here is we again utilizing the O and the O. We're reminding ourselves of our old letters, our old vowels like the A, and the ah, so we don't forget them. And then we're also going back to some letters we haven't seen for a while, like the samech, the sa, the zayin, the vav. So it's really just revision of everything that we've been doing, and so that we can do all of it. Line 1. Bog, vague, bod, vad, bol, vil, bot, and vet. Line 2. Mo, mo, mave, mod, maved, mo, mova. Now you see this last word on line 2. They've just snuck in that o. Mova. Mova. There's the o. Just to the left of the mem. Mova. Line 3. Lo. Valo. Bo. Vabo. So. Vaso. Zo. Vazo. And you can tell they're soon going to introduce le do vado, right? They're building up for that. Okay. So we are practicing the o's, the o and the o. We're practicing the p and the f. We're practicing the vav, the zayin, the samech, the a, the e. We're practicing lots of stuff. So you can see your brain is now recognizing lots of things. And even if it feels difficult, just hang in there, because really your brain is now recognizing a lot of letters and a lot of vowels. Anybody want to brave line 1?
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Bog.
Good.
You say the g is a hard one. Bog.
Yeah. Bog.
Okay. Bog. Vague.
Good.
Vod.
Wood. Good.
Vod. No, vad.
Bad.
Borel.
What's your third letter?
Lamed.
Good. So ba or la.
Ba or la. Okay.
Or,
Vil.
let's just go over that again, Peter.
Yeah.
Ball. Ball. So this one, two, three, four, fifth word.
Yeah.
Ball. Ball.
Ball.
Ball. You see why it's ball? Ball. Ba or la. Ball.
So it's almost like a bouncing ball.
That's right. Ball.
Ball.
Good.
Vil.
Good.
Botch.
Good.
And vet.
Excellent. Excellent. Well done. Well done, Peter. Anybody want to try line 2?
Okay.
Thank you, Reva.
Ooh. Okay. More.
Good.
More.
Good.
Mave.
Good.
Mort.
Good.
Mavate.
Excellent.
More.
Good.
And Mova.
Excellent. Excellent, Reva. Mea achos, 100%.
Oh, miracle.
There you go. Line 3 is quite nice because it's a little bit repetitive. Anybody want to try line 3?
I don't mind.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
Lo,
Good.
valo,
Good.
bo,
Good.
Babo.
Good.
So.
Good.
Vaso.
Good.
Zo. Vazo.
Zor. Very, very nice, Robin. Well done.
Thank
So we've cracked pages 42 and 43. Everybody is reading very nicely. Without exception, it's absolutely great. So now, there are a couple of exercises on page 44. Quite nice, a little bit of revision. In this one, they ask you to circle any letter that says ha. In other words, a hey. So that's boom, boom, and boom. Then they ask you anything that is a ka sound. So of course that's both kaf, kuf, kuf. That's all. A p sound. Not that, not that. Yes, there's a p. There's a p and a m. So quite nice. Tsadi, not there. Number 2 is a tsadi. There's another tsadi. Those are not tsadi. And then f.
Is
Ha, there's a little,
one.
only one, and it's the one at the end. Fa.
It is
And
one.
the
Is there
second
only
one.
one at the second one? Yeah.
Second one.
Well done, everybody. You caught it. I didn't. Well done. And then va. Yes. No, 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 no. Yes. No.
3 of them.
Are there 3? 1.
Yeah, you missed one.
I missed one. You guys are much better than me. Vet.
Only 2, I think. 2.
Yeah,
The first
yeah.
and the second last.
But now the third last is also
Oh,
over.
ve. Sorry, on my screen, I swear it's got, oh no, it's your cursor that made it a dot.
And then silent letters, aleph, ayin, aleph. So quite a nice exercise just to make sure that you are really getting to grips with those.
Gosh, the iron and the sari are so similar.
Yeah, they
Very
are.
much.
Sure.
Yeah, that one also gets me.
Yeah. You know, the only way I can think of it is that the tsadi sort of stands up.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean? It's got more of a spine.
Mm. Doesn't matter.
It looks like a Y, but I don't know how to relate that to it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you can see.
Very similar.
Iron. And so when you squashed it goes.
Ah,
Is that
very good one. It's a squashed iron.
You're right. It's squash.
Right.
It makes a little squash at the bottom.
that's
now
right.
where your cursor is that silent as well?
Okay, that's silent.
Right?
No,
Mm-mm.
no, no. Silent,
Ah, okay.
silent. No, no. So the ayin and the aleph are the 2 silent letters there. They are standing next to each other, so that's quite nice. So now the exercise on page 45. Read it and circle the words that sound alike. I don't know, it's a bit of a funny exercise. Like, let's just do the first line. So they want us to circle words that sound alike. Pat, pit, pony, pot, pate, and pit. Like, so which 2 sounded alike?
The second one and the last one.
The second one and the last one. Line 2. Gifa. He for. Tifa. He for. He for. I guess it's the second and the second last. He for and he for. So they're just trying to remind you that sometimes a word can look quite different, but it still sounds the same. So before we carry on with that, I just want to check something. I think the most useful thing to do in this chapter, actually. So what I'm going to suggest for homework is actually line 46 and 47. You can do that one where they sound alike. It is quite fun to just see if your ear and your eye can align. But otherwise, I'm not mad about they've got this English dialogue. I don't really like it. I'll just read it to you quickly. Ma said, he's a meanie. His, I don't know.
He's a meanie.
You what?
He's a meanie.
He's
He
a
is a meanie.
He's a meanie. Well done, Dad. He's a meanie.
Yoy.
He's a meanie. Pa said no, he's not a meanie. He made a neat bot.
What?
Anyway, like whatever. I can't. Yeah. Weirdness. Lines, exercise 7 is rather nice because these are real Hebrew words, and not only real Hebrew words, but they are words that will be a little bit familiar from the prayer book. So we've got only 3 minutes left. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to read lines 1 to 6, and then I'm going to ask you for homework to do exercise 7, and then also exercise 8. And exercise 8 is also real Hebrew words. I will send them out as a voice note, and then next week we'll go through them more. They're all quite, none of them are easy, but you can really see that you are consolidating everything that you've learned. And believe me, from here, there's not much to learn. If you look at the back, if you look right at the back at the alphabet, new letters,
46 and 47.
2 more letters only to learn, and then you'll have something called a final letter. But 2 new sounds that you've still got to learn, and then there are also a couple more vowels. You would have thought you've learned all your vowels by now, but no. So really, we are getting close to the end of the Hebrew alphabet. So let me read to you lines 1 to 6. Line 1. Et. Ot, or tot, or have, echad. Line 2. Ata, Moshe. You see Moshe, Moses? There's the or. Now, that's a funny word because what happened with that or? What happened with that dot?
Yeah, I know.
It's part of the S.
That
It's
dot.
It's part of the S. It's not an O, it's an S.
Both. In this case, it's got 2 jobs. And sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
That dot has got 2 jobs because they can't really put 2 dots right next to each other. So then we just use 1 dot. Yeah.
Pathetic.
Moshe.
Yeah.
She.
So that dot up there, it's playing the role of or, and it's also playing the role of sh.
She.
In that case, would they not just put the stick with the
Why
This is
why-
madness.
or?
Stone madness.
Absolutely right. Why wouldn't they put the little stick? It would make
Okay.
so much more sense.
Yes.
But they didn't. They didn't. That says Moshe.
Moshe.
And then the third word, nodeh.
Nodelecha.
Nodelecha. Modeh. Dome. Line 3. Shabbat. Shabbat. Shavat.
Shabbat.
Ba Shabbat. And ha Shabbat. The Shabbat.
What's the dot doing in the middle of the?
The shin.
Of the
What's the
shin.
dot doing in the middle of the shin? It's completely lost. What it is doing there is anybody's guess. It's got nothing to do with anything, and it shouldn't be there.
Pathetic.
Line 4. Now you're going to enjoy this. Mi ka mocha ba kodesh kadosh
Kadosh.
ha kadosh. You can see in this line, some of the oars, it's just suspended above, like kamocha, like Moshe, like Bakodesh, and then kadosh, the oar has got its own stick, it's got the vav. Kadosh and Hakadosh have got their own. So both of those things say or, either if it's just suspended above or if it's sitting on top of the stick. Or, as in or. Line 5. Ze, el, ze. Anyone remember that where the ze come from in the prayer book?
Nikadesh.
That's right, Marion. V'kara ze el ze v'amar. Kadosh, kadosh, kadosh. Ze el ze. Natata.
Natata Lanu.
That's right. Va'ed. Le'olam va'ed.
Yes.
Nata.
Yeah.
Beini. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael.
Beini.
And then here's what they do. They carry on. Ot hi. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael. Ot hi.
Ki.
Ki. Sheshet. Tamid. And nefesh. The word nefesh means
Nefesh.
So.
nefesh is soul, nefesh. So there we go. Lines 1 to 6 are particularly fun. And what this is showing you is that you are increasingly able to read from the prayer book. You've got a little way to go because you've got a couple more vowels. You've got 2 more letters. And then we've got this delightful thing in Hebrew is that for certain letters, not for all, when they appear at the end of the word, they change their form. They look different. So we've got to go through the final letters. But new sounds, there are only 2 more new sounds that we are going to learn. So what I hope you will do for homework is exercise 7 at the bottom of page 46. I'll send it as a voice note. And then also exercise 8, which consolidates a lot of what you've already learned. It's quite a lot. It's 11, 12 lines. Even if you don't do all the lines, but you do some, these are all real Hebrew words, which means that your eye and your brain are now increasingly able to read Hebrew.
Now,
Yes, Harriet.
would you mind on 7 giving us the English meaning of some of those words? Because they're sounding very familiar as Hebrew words, but I'm not always sure what the English is. It'd be nice to know, maybe when you read it or...
Fantastic. What I'll do is I will pick out what I think are the most familiar ones in each line in the voice note, and I'll just say what they are. Like the first line, I'll do Ohev and Echad. Something like that.
that'll be lovely. Thanks.
Thanks.
And then next week we are going to revise those. So we'll go through. I think what we'll do next week is we'll start off with the right hand side of page 47. So lines 1 to 12, which by itself is quite a lot. But then what we'll do is we'll go on to lesson 7. So lesson 7 is really quite nice because what it's doing is it's introducing, I think, the resh and the shin, which are actually your last letters. You'll see here, it actually gives you 4 letters, but 2 of them you've already learned. The shin and the taf. The shin and the taf you've already learned. So you actually only have 2 more letters to learn, the resh and the sin. And then we are going to learn a new vowel, and that new vowel is oo. And after that, you are going to just about be through everything. And then we are really just onto the final letter. So it does give me hope that by the time of Rosh Hashanah, we'll be pretty close to reading Hebrew quite competently. Just to say, Jacob is really doing his job. He is trying to get us organized. When I say us, I mostly mean me, that we set out everything well in advance for the high holidays. That Riva and Marion and others decide on honors, that we get ourselves organized well in advance. So we'll certainly be calling on some of you to read and do honors for us at our Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur services. And Jacob, I promise you, this time tomorrow, I'm gonna have done the things you asked me to do so that we can send out those honors still this week and get ourselves organized, because actually the Yom Tovim are now, is it 3 weeks away? Is Rosh Hashanah. So
Horrible.
We are in the month of Elul, everybody. Let's all use the month of Elul to study, to learn, to reflect, to take time, to go internally, and to begin the process of repentance and renewal, which Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur represent. You've all been very patient. It's 6:36. Reva, over to you.
Thank you, Lau. The time flies because, you know, you make it just so interesting. I've never been taught like this before. I mean, we're all fascinated, I know. So thank you very much. It was super. And without further ado, Shavua Tov, I got it right this time. I didn't say it. And we'll, Baruch Hashem, those of you who do join us, we'll see you on this Shabbat. And there'll also be Haftalah next Shabbat. And then we look forward to next Tuesday again with Leo and our Hebrew lessons.
Wonderful. And can I just say thank you to all of the many people on the Zoom who are providing sandwiches and eggs and fruit for Thursday mornings. We are now feeding 300 people. When I say we, our community, Temple Israel, Beit Emmanuel, many of you are contributing. Very gratefully received, because it's not easy to have enough for 300 people. So thanks everybody, and especially you to Marion. Marion said last week they were a little short on the sandwiches. So I've mobilized my complex where I stay. They're all going to make a couple of loaves, but we're very grateful that everybody is contributing.
Thank you.
And
And I say
very
happy birthday to Casey.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday again, Casey. Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Lau. Everyone.
Bye.
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 Thank you. Bye. Shavua Tov.